Hi there, my name is Callum Thompson. I'm an academic developer for learning technologies here at the University of Salford. And this short video is going to look at Twitter, and we're going to do a very basic introduction to Twitter. Now, Twitter, some of you may have heard of, you might not have heard of it, you might have heard of it but you've never used it. This video is aimed at that very introductory level, so we're going to look at the basics and explain what Twitter is. We're going to discuss some of the terminology of it, and then we'll go on to look at Twitter and its interface and look at how you do basic things like sign up and send a tweet. Okay, so nothing too advanced, but this should lead you through to a point where you understand Twitter enough to start using it as a social networking tool. And I'm sure at that point you'll start to see that it's got a whole range of uses which we can put it to within the university environment. So, what is Twitter? Twitter is an online social networking service. Okay, and what that means is it essentially allows us to log on and start to network with other people. So lots of other people, millions, quite probably billions of people, have Twitter accounts now, and through Twitter we can contact any of them. Okay, so it's a way that we can start to connect with each other and we can start to communicate. It's a little different from social networking services such as Facebook and LinkedIn, in that it's very short text messages that we send, so almost like a text message you would send on a mobile phone. The maximum is 140 characters, so that's 140 letters or symbols on your keyboard or numbers, and these are sent out as tweets, and that's the basis of Twitter. Okay, there's not lots of other things you can do with it. You can just send these tweets, which are just sets of bits of text. You can also embed bits of video, you can embed images if you want to, but generally it's based around these short text messages. But there's obviously lots we can share within there with the internet, which we can link to. Messages can be open, so you can just post a message and people that follow you, and I'll explain following shortly, people that follow you can see it, or you can send it directly to someone by writing in their username into the tweet. So if you start by writing in @Callum_Thompson and you send that tweet, it will appear to me and I'll be able to see that. Everyone else can see it as well, but it highlights it to me. So that's the two ways we can send tweets. We can either send them directly to people, or we can send them just openly onto Twitter, and people can find them in various ways, which again we'll look at in just a second. Messages can be searched for, and they can be grouped using what's called a hashtag. And a hashtag is just a very simple search term which begins with the hashtag symbol on your keyboard, and you write a single term, and then anyone else that uses that hashtag, they will be able to search and group all together those tweets which use the hashtag. Okay, so kind of this is where the concepts around Twitter can start to sound a little bit confusing, but the main take-home message here is that we're just dealing with very short text messages, okay, and depending on what we put into that text message can make the tweet work in slightly different ways. So some of the terminology that we get with Twitter. You'll see a list of terms which are the main terms that we tend to find being used in Twitter. So we have following, and when we refer to people as following each other on Twitter, that is when through their Twitter account they have decided that they want to watch someone else's Twitter account. So if you follow me, it means when you log into Twitter you will see any of my latest tweets that I've posted. Okay, and depending on how many people you follow, when you log into Twitter under your profile, you will see these different tweets coming through. And it's a way of us managing what we see on Twitter, because obviously there's a lot of information there, but we only want to see what's coming from our friends or our colleagues or people that we want to network with. Tweeting, we've covered briefly just now, but tweeting is the act of sending a message, so it all comes from the idea of Twitter and the Twitter bird and things. So we tweet, we send these short messages and put them out there onto the internet, onto Twitter. Retweeting is when you copy a tweet and repost it, okay? And it's an automatic thing that you can do. You press a retweet button. So if you are perhaps following me and I tweet something that you think is interesting and you want to share with people who follow you, you can retweet and that automatically copies it to your page, okay? And we'll look at some of the buttons for this when we start to look at the Twitter interface. There's then direct messaging, which is when you can send a private message to someone. So there is an option to send a tweet which is directed to someone but nobody else can see, and that's called direct message. The hashtag, as I was saying just now, are these short terms which begin with the hashtag symbol, and they begin to group tweets together that we can search for. So I'll show you how we can do that when we start to look for there. And yes, so searching, then when we get into searching, we can start to search through Twitter for these key search terms, such as hashtags, or just generally searching for people. So that's the basic terminology, okay? And the ideas around it. They might sound like silly terms like tweeting and things just now, but the basis of it, which is in there, is that you tweet, you say things, you follow people, you see what they're doing. It's fairly common language which is used. So let's now go and have a look at Twitter. So here in my web browser, I have come to twitter.com, and it's prompting me to download a page. The main Twitter page is here. I've just clicked on the little Twitter symbol in the top corner to get to the main Twitter page. There are two options here. One is to sign up and one is to sign in. Okay, so if you've not used Twitter before and you don't have a Twitter account, you can sign up for one here for free. All you need is an email address. So what you would do is you put in your name, your email, you'd select a password that you want to use and click sign up for Twitter, and then that will lead you through a series of pages during which you choose things like a username, an individual unique username for your Twitter account, and you confirm passwords and things. And then it does go through a few pages where it asks you want to start following certain people, ask you for interests and things, but it's just a bit of a couple of sign up pages really to get your profile up and running. I, however, am going to sign in just now rather than going through that sign-up process. The sign-up process is all very clear on screen. I'll enter my username, which is Callum_Thompson, and my password, which is, and I'm not going to be remembered on this computer. And then I just click login, and this takes me through to my basic Twitter page. Okay, so there's some fairly key bits of information here and fairly key parts of the layout. Here you can see that this is my profile picture, and it gives my name and the @Callum_Thompson username, which people use if they want to direct message me or to tweet me. Now you can see that I'm following 155 people, I have 140 people following me, and that's my basic profile information. There are also some other parts up at the top here which I can see, so I can see that I've not been sent any messages recently, so that didn't have anything, but there was a notification, which means that someone has probably sent a tweet with my name in there. So if I click on notifications, I can see some of the tweets which have been sent to me, or tweets that I've been mentioned in which have been favorited, and we'll cover favoriting in just a second as well. There's also Discover, which is where we go in and we can start to search for information. Okay, so we can see down here we've got some various bits and pieces of information that's being shared there, which we can start to discover through there. Clicking on home takes me back to my main page, and then in the central column here, all of these central tweets are from people which I'm following at the moment. So we can see here's the Salford University Library. I don't think I'm actually following the Salford University Library at the moment, but a colleague, Sue Beckingham, has retweeted this, and if I click on the Salford University Library, it takes me to their page. Okay, and if I click on this and it takes me to their page, I can see some colleagues which also follow them, and I can just click on follow, and what will now happen is that any tweets from Salford University Library will appear on my page when I log in, and I'll be able to see them. So that's how we follow someone, okay? And following literally just means that they will start to pop up in the central column when we log in and we can see them. Obviously, the more people you follow, the more information is shared through. So we can see the information that's coming through to us here, and you'll see that there's also a list of people that might interest me. This is based on other people I do follow, which I can click here today. So I might want to follow the Today program as well, and then that will start to pop up on my page. The next thing is tweeting. So if I want to send a tweet, well, first of all, what I could do is if I wanted to tweet this tweet from Salford University Library, I can just click this button that has its two arrows almost in a circle, and it says retweet. So if I click on retweet, it will pop up and say, this is what you're going to post to your followers. And when I click retweet, that will now post it to my page, and anyone that follows me will now see that tweet. Okay, so that's come directly from them, and that's an easy way to get information coming out from your account. The other way is to write a new tweet. So if I write a new tweet, and perhaps some of the PGCAP students are in the process of submitting their final portfolios at the moment. So if I want to send something out to them, we have a hashtag, which is hashtag PGCAP FDOL. Okay, so this is the Flexible Distance Online Learning Unit on the PGCAP here at Salford. And I want to send a tweet out to them that says, hope the portfolios are going well. Remember, final submission is tomorrow. And you'll notice that this hashtag PGCAP FDOL has gone blue in the text here, and that means it's recognised that I've put that hashtag at the start there. If I take that out, you see it goes black, but if it starts with a hashtag, it recognises one of these search terms we're putting in. Okay, and that means that if one of the students on the PGCAP FDOL unit just now were to go onto Twitter and search for hashtag PGCAP FDOL, they would see this pop up in a list along with all the other tweets which are there for that. Okay, now what I can also do is I can add a photo, or I can put the location that I'm in at the moment as well by clicking either of these buttons. I'm not going to do that just now, but that's ways we can add other bits of information into there. And once I'm ready with this, everything looks fine. I click tweet. Also, one thing to notice, this 55, you can see the countdown of the number of characters we've got there. So we've got 140 characters the total that we can send. That gives us the number that we have left. Okay. So now if we're ready, we click tweet, and that has been posted up onto Twitter under my account. And if I click on hashtag PGCAP FDOL, it can take a second to pick these up actually. So this should pop through, but you can see here that we have lots of tweets which have all come together, and they've all got this PGCAP FDOL hashtag in them. In a few seconds we can see that that has now been added onto there as well. So I just refreshed the page, and my new post, my new tweet has been added to that PGCAP FDOL page. Okay, and this is open and public, and anyone can go on and look for it, but I'm targeting these at the people on the PGCAP. So you'll notice just now that I searched for PGCAP FDOL in this search area up here, and you can go and you can search for anything, any hashtag which is on at the moment. If we hit this, sorry, there's just an ambulance pulled up at the traffic lights outside, so perhaps some noise in the background there. But you can see that I can go in there and I can search for this. But there are lots of hashtags out there, and we can see that we have trending hashtags at the side. Now trending is when lots of people are tweeting about the same thing. So for example, this morning, or in fact it would have been last night, was the Golden Globe Awards. So you can see that people are tweeting about this. If I click on that, we can see all the tweets that have been sent with that hashtag included in it. So lots and lots and lots of information, photographs, bits and pieces which are available there. Okay, so that's how we can go and we can start to search for things, and we can see what people are talking about on Twitter, but we can also, by suggesting hashtags to people, we can start to group together tweets. So you don't need to enter anything into Twitter to make a hashtag recognised. You just need to type the hashtag in and it will start to find things. So I could put in anything I wanted to and it would start to find it. Okay, right, so that's the very basics of Twitter. We've covered how you might want to go on and create a new account, how you can follow people, how you can tweet and retweet, and also the idea of putting hashtags into our tweets and then searching for those hashtags as well. And the basics of Twitter, that's pretty much it. But obviously once we start to connect people through Twitter, so by following and finding bits of information, and by grouping people together by using these hashtags, Twitter becomes a very powerful tool for us to sift and to organise the information that's available for us. There's always lots of information coming through. You can see in the last few seconds there's 12 new people that have tweeted about the Golden Globes. So there's always lots of information coming through on there. Okay, I hope you find that useful, and keep an eye out if you are looking to use Twitter in the classroom with students or outside the classroom with students, however you might want to use that, then do watch out for some of the academic development sessions that are running on Twitter, where we will be discussing in more depth Twitter and just discussing some ideas for how we might use this in teaching and learning. There's lots of really good use out there already that we're really keen to share. Okay, right, thank you very much.